just want to make a quick video on how to fit windows when you're building a camper van, or you just want to fit windows in your van. You can buy these windows online and you get the adhesive to go around the window to stick them on. That's all fairly straightforward, but the only difficult part is actually cutting the apertures for the windows to go in. I've tried several different methods and I think I've come up with what I now consider the easiest and best to do. I used to cut the window out and then put a little tack welds around the seam to close the two halves together. That works fine, but of course you end up with welding detritus and have to angle grinder them off afterwards. Loads of mess. If you just cut it out and leave the two halves of the door skin separate, I don't like the way they move against each other, and I think you take away some of the strength in the door. So what I like to do now is I cut the hole slightly smaller, about 20mm or an inch around the opening to leave me enough to fold over. You have to stress relieve the corners, and I simply fold this over using either a pair of mole grips, which I put down here, and or a pair of these sort of water pump pliers. They work quite well, and you can fold the edge in as you see there. Now I also go round this seam before I dress it completely back with some sealant. Ideally you want seam sealer on this, but I don't have any of that here at the moment, so I'm just using standard acrylic decorators sealant. There's no strength needed, it's really just to close the void between the two pieces of metal and fill it up so it can't really move. You're not gluing anything together with it. You just really want to fill the gap so you haven't got somewhere where moisture and that can get. Now when you've done it, it comes out looking a bit like this. This is one I did earlier today, and you can see it's all been dressed back all the way around. Now to get a nice tight seam on here, I've got a crimping tool for cables, and I just used this and went along the edge just to pinch the two skins together. But you could quite easily use mole grips or something similar. Once you've got the hole quite nice and neat like that, I went round on the outside where the paint had flaked off and gave it a coat of paint before I put the window in. I've got 4 little bits of trim which I cut as spacers. I don't necessarily use this when I finish the door. I kind of dress the cloth up and then tuck it in so you've got a nice continuous seam all the way around, but you could quite easily put this trim on if you like it. Either way is good. I prefer the other way, but that's how I do those, and as you can see that's all really tight there, and that's going nowhere once that's done. And I think it actually gives the door a little bit more strength, because on these doors over time I've noticed you get metal fatigue cracks appearing, you know, in places like this where the two skins move against each other. So this should really tie them in quite nicely. And then of course you just apply the adhesive to the glass. Make sure you thoroughly clean and degrease both the glass and the door first. I like to rough the door up with like a Scotch pad, that type of thing, and then thoroughly degrease it again to make sure I've got a really clean surface for the adhesive. And yeah, it should take you about an hour and a half, 2 hours to do a window. This is one I'm just doing. Hope to finish this before it gets dark, and I'll continue folding that over. I'll go around it with a bead of sealant, fold it over, and then we'll glue the glass in. But I just thought I would show this because I've tried several methods, not seen this done before like this, and I think it's probably the best way that I've discovered of doing it. That's all for now. Anyway, thanks for watching.